So I mentioned that me and Mrs. Claus were staying at the Hidden Springs RV Resort in southwestern Utah. Well, if you'd like to stay where Santa stays, just go to CurbNTurf.com. It's one of the many places that you can reserve through CurbNTurf. And why not camp where Santa camps? Man, am I excited, because last night I went to a live concert with Matt Baldoni, and holy cow, we just hit it off, because this week's theme of authentic, of being authentic and real, man, this guy is the real deal. So my friend Matt here, he played right here at Hidden Springs that we just happened to be camping at together. That show last night was great. I mean, you are a single solo artist, just you and your guitar, a voice from heaven, man. Tell us a little bit about your background, your upbringing, and when you decided to become a musician.
I'm from a little rural town in Northern California called Grass Valley. I was born and raised there. My parents are still living there, and my brother and his family are still living nearby. And I guess my first music was singing in the church choir. I believe I was about 6 when that started. I'm a Catholic kid.
Yeah.
And so altar boy and choir started very, very early. So after being a choir boy for a couple of years, I saw Eric Clapton on TV, and I thought, wow, he's really cool. I want to do that. So the only teacher who taught guitar in that little town at the time was a classical guitar teacher. So I am classically trained. And as you can see right here, I have these very sort of feminine-esque nails that I use. I don't use a regular pick that much on the guitar. I like to play with my fingers like a classical guitarist, even though I don't play much classical music. There were still some pretty good music programs in California public schools in the 90s. So I had a really good junior high band director and a really good high school band director. They were a man and wife team. And they, I think, probably were the first people to convince me that I had the talent, at least, to make a living. Now, nobody I grew up with knew anything about the music business or performing live. So after that, I went to music school for classical guitar at Chico State in Northern California.
Right.
Got a degree, which has been useless. And and after that, I moved to LA because that's what everybody said we should do. And that was cool for several years. I got to do big tours and be on television and play on albums by some famous people and whatnot. And I taught at a really prestigious conservatory for guitar players there. And then Las Vegas, I was with Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons as a guitar player and backup singer. Yep. And we started spending a lot of time in Las Vegas, and I started really liking it there. And I was already tired of the road then, so I thought, I'm going to work towards kind of getting a Vegas show, and because Las Vegas can often give you the touring experience, but being home and being in your own bed. So, because the audience changes every night.
Right.
So that's been great for several years and a million different shows where I've sang and played guitar, including Broadway shows like Mamma Mia and Spam-A-Lot, and tribute shows like Legends in Concert. I was Barry Gibb in the Australian Bee Gees show at the Excalibur Hotel for 10 years or so. And I also worked for Cirque du Soleil and a few different productions. And all the while, I've been touring, flying on planes behind artists of varying sorts. And it was about the time during COVID when no one was allowed to play in Las Vegas. Somehow, the live entertainment capital of the world decided to make live entertainment illegal.
Right.
So I started looking for some other places that were still allowing for little guys like me to come in and play, whether they were restaurants or bars or coffee houses or RV parks or backyard patios of people's private homes and whatever else. And that's kind of how Truckhouse Troubadour was born.
Sweet. So Truckhouse Troubadour, you came up with that out of the blue. Tell us a little history there.
Well, I have always traveled by plane and via hotel. It's taken me to 47 countries. One of my other passions has always been pickup trucks. I've always driven a Ford pickup truck since I was 15 years old, and I started looking at truck bed campers, like demountable truck bed campers, about 10 years ago, and I couldn't find anyone else who knew anything about them or was interested in them at all. So I told myself, someday, man, because the TSA and flying's gotten harder and harder every year, as you well know. You travel internationally for your own brand of show business. It's insanely difficult. And we are here in the American Southwest, which, in my opinion, after being to 47 countries, is one of the most beautiful parts of the world.
There's a spirit here.
Absolutely.
That you don't get elsewhere.
Absolutely. The frontier, individualist, free spirit really suits me very much. And so I put a camper on the back of the truck and decided that I didn't want to deal with the big walls of video screens anymore. I didn't want to deal with agents anymore, with promoters, with hotels, with TSA lines. I was going to carry my own bed and my own kitchen and my own dressing room and my own green room and my own practice studio and my own recording studio, and it was all going to fit in the back of my pickup. And that's how Truckhouse Troubadour came to be.
Really? And have you been successful in being able to fit all of that in a truck?
Yeah,
camper?
well, you know how us RV people are.
Yeah.
We maximize every square millimeter, every cubic inch of space. We will find a use for it. And for those of us guys who really like to tinker and like to customize things, you're always working on your rig. You know that, I know that, and it's always a constant evolution. There's always something to fix. There's always something to upgrade, to repair, to improve. And that life just really suits me as a musician. Musicians are tinkerers, and so when I discovered truck camper life, it was a perfect fit.
Nice.
And I kind of made myself the Truckhouse Troubadour.
Right. So you have been in the largest of venues,
Wembley Stadium. I mean, yeah.
It doesn't get much bigger than that.
No, it doesn't. No.
And last night, we were just in the clubhouse here at Hidden Springs RV Resort. There were probably, max maybe 20, 25 folks?
I don't know. I never counted. I was guessing about 20 to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me about the difference in experience there. Playing to the really 50, 60,000 plus in a huge stadium versus the intimate, real, I just want to call it the roots of entertainment. When you're playing in a small venue to a few people that you can actually make individual connection with on a one-to-one basis.
Okay, that's a really good question, and that's precisely why I do this now. I spent a lot of years, decades in fact, either performing as a character myself with clown makeup on and everything, or performing behind someone as a sideman who had to follow a given script every night. Because when you're playing in front of tens of thousands of people, or at least thousands, when they're setting up or tearing down the show before the buses and the trucks leave, it's like somebody kicked over an anthill, man. I mean, there are dozens of people all with little jobs working on, and if the show isn't followed the exact same way in the exact same order every single night, then it can't work, and I'm not one of those people, and I was really, really tired of that. So the thing one of the authentic things I believe about being Truckhouse Troubadour is I never bring a set list to gigs. So last night, I did not know what music I was going to play at all. I thought, well, if the room wants, if I play a classic rock song and they like it, we'll go that way for a while.
Yeah.
But if somebody yells out a request for outlaw country or jazz and swing or blues or Latin music, we'll go that way, you know?
Right.
And I know a lot of music. I pride myself on knowing a lot of music. So I have a lot of options when I do perform, and because I don't have a band, I don't have to split any of the money, and I can play whatever I want and don't have to worry about anybody ever following me ever again.
You know, one of the talents that I picked up immediately when I watched you last night was connection. You worked the audience into the songs that you were playing.
Thank you.
It's something, because not everybody has the level of talent that you have as a professional musician. And the ability to pull somebody into the show that doesn't have the training, the talent, or didn't put out the effort that you did to actually become a professional, that's where it is.
I can tell you where some of that came from.
Please.
I've worked with a bunch of other musicians who have played with people like Elvis
Right.
and Sinatra. And I was in Wayne Newton's band for a little while.
Is that right?
And there's a certain caliber, or there's a certain, I guess, style of entertainment. I think Elvis and Frank probably invented it. I remember years ago also, I went and saw Rickles. I went and saw Don Rickles at the Golden Nugget because a friend of mine was playing in the band with him all week. And I watched him, he was 80 at the time, and I watched him work over the whole room. He went after everybody, including me, you know, in the whole place. And I thought, my God, this is masterful entertainment. He had a full orchestra with him on stage, and it was comedy, it was song and dance. But Wayne Newton, when I was on stage with him, he played fiddle, he played banjo, he played guitar, he sang. There were 80 musicians with him on stage. I thought, my God, it does not get any better than legacy Las Vegas entertainment. Right. So I would say I probably ripped those men off as I worked with them and worked with people who knew them. Those little techniques of work in the room, because when the Rat Pack was playing the Sands in 1962, 8 shows a week, they had to mix it up. So they picked little groups of people to work over every night. And I think some of that I'd like to stand on their shoulders with.
Yeah, for sure. It's one thing to go and just hear somebody play and sing, right? But to be immersed into the show and actually be part of the show, that's where pure entertainment comes.
I agree with you, and that's why I play the venues that I do, including Hidden Springs RV Resort. I play Hidden Springs RV Resort because I love this family and I love their business.
Right.
But what you're speaking of, that brand of entertainment that's custom to order with every group of people, can only be done in small venues.
Right.
It can only be done in small venues. And that's why if I make the money that I need, or maybe even a little bit more than I need, in small places, I can still have that emotional connection with people that you speak of, which can't, it plain doesn't exist when you're following a script in a 2,000 seat theater in a $1 billion hotel every night.
Right.
It can't exist. It doesn't. It won't.
So let me ask you, and this is general, even beyond entertainment, the joy that you get by being authentic to what you want versus the money that you get by following the menu. Which one do you prefer?
It's funny you should ask that. I prefer what I'm doing now much, much more. What I didn't realize, and what the agents and the managers never told me, and now I understand why they never told me, was that without them and without the big famous names that are on my resume, or the $1 billion properties behind a show, or whatever, without them, they often make people with my experience feel like we're nothing without them. And without them, I'm making just as much money, if not more, being myself. And in 2025, I did 180 shows as Truckhouse Troubadour. And I can't think of a single Vegas account, from Cirque du Soleil to the Four Seasons. I was in the Four Tops and the Temptations, Wayne Newton, whoever. Not a single one ever gave me that much work that I gave myself last year.
Holy cow. I mean, that's an average a show every other day.
That's right.
Which also speaks to perseverance, right? You love what you do, which was obvious from what we witnessed last night.
Thank you.
That was so cool.
I'm really glad that that's clear. I'm really glad people can see that.
Right. And, I found myself off to the side just singing along with you and feeling like it was okay.
Yeah, I noticed that, man. There were so many songs I played that you knew, and it really, I play the songs that I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
That I love. The records.
That's because it's you.
Yeah, right. And to see other people who are as big of fans of this music as me, that's why I don't like it to feel like you need to watch me do something now,
Right.
Listening and playing the music and the relationship between performer and audience is one of the last authentic human experiences left in this crazy digital-based world that we all now are forced to exist in.
Yeah.
Okay? The relationship between performer and audience is still there, and it is still something supernatural that you cannot get with your smartphone or with a camera or anything else. And I was really glad all of us, me, you, and everyone else there, got to experience that collectively last night.
Right. One of the things that I really appreciated last night was you were like, you'll notice it's me and my guitar. I don't have a pre-recorded track. I don't have a loop equipment. I don't know what you call that.
I'll tell you what I call it. Cheating.
So sitting there just watching a pure musician who has obviously dedicated a significant, if not more than significant, dedication to your craft, and to just be immersed in it. I tell you what, I did not miss the whole band. It felt like, man, there was a bass player, there was a drum set, there was a lead guitar, there was a rhythm guitar, there was a string background, there were background singers, there was lights, there was pyrotechnics, just because of the feeling that you got. And ultimately, it was you, your guitar, and
a microphone.
And then what? Did you have an amp there?
Yeah, I did. But I maintain several mantras that I kind of attach to the Truckhouse Troubadour name.
Yeah.
One is this: there are two kinds of musicians, real ones and fake ones. The real ones, like me, can do it without a power outlet. That is as authentic as music and art, for that matter, as a whole gets.
Right.
If you can do it purely with an acoustic instrument, or like if I were just to sing you something, Santa Claus is coming to town, you would know what song I was singing, and I don't have to plug in a laptop or a DJ turntable. Even
the most popular groups, they've done the big tours, they've done the platinum albums and things like that. But even them, as artists, as musicians, they'll go back to their acoustic roots.
Yeah, a lot of them will. I think, when both of us were a lot younger in the 90s, MTV had those unplugged shows. Remember how great those were? Everybody did one.
Right.
Of course, my childhood hero, Eric Clapton, has the best one still to this day. But it kind of made for acoustic versions of songs to be okay, All of a sudden, different versions of very popular songs that were played acoustically, stripped down, were okay. And that's when we started to really, really hear how how great a lot of the
Yeah.
people we loved really were, you know,
Right.
because when you took away all the electronic help back then, you could see them really play and really sing. And,
Right.
and so that's what I try to do every show. Every one of my shows is as unplugged as I can make it.
Man, and your talent exceeds beyond just being able to play the guitar. You are a master of this thing. Last night, one of the things that stood out, you're like, hey, I'm going to give you some piano, man. And you played some Elton John, you played some Billy Joel
Yeah.
on the guitar.
Yeah.
And give us a couple of examples of some of the piano licks that you were able to throw
Oh, okay.
on the guitar.
Great. I love to do this because I love the piano, you know, because my instrument and the piano are the only two really that can survive totally acoustically and solo.
Right.
You know, so I have a lot of admiration and respect for the piano and guys like this. No, you're changing to try and please me. Never could have done before. Oh, don't imagine you're too familiar. I can't see you anymore.
That's so nice.
Thank you.
I mean, who doesn't just hear the piano coming out of your guitar?
Yeah.
And I take it that a guitar's a little bit easier to transport than a piano.
Yes. Yeah. Well. Again, if you're going to carry a piano around, it has to be plugged into a power outlet.
Right.
So, acoustic guitar does not. You
Yeah,
know.
it's not like you're gonna pull a 9-foot
Steinway Grand. Yeah.
out of your trailer and say, okay, let's just set this up for a 45-minute gig.
That is one thing though that I want to be able to do someday. I would love to find a duo partner out there to do some concerts with that plays acoustic piano and sings. And because I think acoustic guitar and acoustic piano together sound amazing. And that's really the only desire I have to be in any kind of ensemble or band anymore, is if I found a really great piano to work with, because the two sound so wonderful together.
Well, and that reminds me of another thing from last night, being able to do a duo. Mm-hmm. You just picked a local artist, or how did you and was it Lonnie or
Yeah, her name is Lolly.
Molly?
Yeah.
Last night. Local.
Last time I played here, she came to me and said, "Hi, I'm Lolly. I own this place. And I'm a violinist, and I also teach local children here in this part of Utah how she teaches choir and orchestral instruments and a couple other things I can't remember, but she's a great musician herself and a great music teacher. And once again, unscripted, completely improvised. That woman, who's just a wonderful musician and human being, of course, she brought her violin in. She happens to have a little miniature microphone on her violin. She plugged it into my amp, and no rehearsal, no plan, no script, no set list. We just started making music. We hardly spoken, and we started making music. And as far as the audience was concerned, we played 500 shows together.
Right. How many rehearsals did you do together?
0.
Right?
Yeah. It's just the act of listening and being sensitive to, like this conversation we're having now and the authenticity therein. When you're having a valuable conversation with someone, there's a give and a take and a push and a pull, and it's listening that really gets you the furthest. And same was true. So thank you, Lolly, for playing so well.
Yes, thank you, Lolly. That was a fantastic concert. That was just really cool. And that, as you mentioned, speaks to authenticity as well.
Yes, sir.
Because you can't pull that off as I can only sing to tracks, or I can only do karaoke or whatever.
And mind you, the biggest of the biggest stars in the world and some of the most famous names in history are now using pre-recorded tracks, not performing live, and are lip syncing every show. And it really, really bothers me that people don't care as much as I think they should about what they're hearing and what they're seeing. Because, you know, God love people. They just want to hear the records and hear the hits. And you know, the record business is gone. So these people, especially the older ones that didn't save their money, they need to get back out on the road even when they're physically unable to play and sing those things anymore. Right. So they need that electronic aid in order to make a living. And I'm sensitive to that.
Yeah.
But the best thing I can do as a reaction to that is be as musically pure and authentic as I can on my 180 shows a year.
Right. So if I ever come across you in the future and you've changed your moniker to Millie Vanilla Wago Bago, then I'll know that you've sold out.
Well, you know the money went out big time. If somebody gets me to do that, they were putting a lot of money on the plate.
Yeah, oh, that's so awesome. So I love music. I love Christmas music. You want to do some songs?
Yeah.
Let's run some Christmas together.
Okay, let's do it.
Bells will be ringing, the glad, glad news.
Take it, Santa.
Oh, what a Christmas to have the blues. My baby's gone, I have no friends to wish me greetings once again. Clouds will be singing the silent night, Christmas carols by candlelight. There'll be no more Christmas. Please come home for Christmas. If not for Christmas, then New Year's night. Friends and relations send salutations. Sure as the stars in the sky up above. Christmas, my dear, the time of year to be with the one you love. Oh man, I'm loving that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Santa has a penchant for the blues.
Oh,
and,
man.
And
So does Truckhouse Troubadour, let me tell you. It's the root of all American music.
right, yeah, the American rock scene came right out of the blues. In fact, that's one of the RV trips that I'm dying to take.
You go down to the Delta?
Oh, go down to the Delta, go up through Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Yeah, do it.
Hit the crossroads where Billy Johnson sold his soul to not Santa. Right?
Yeah.
And then
That's
make your
right
way-
outside of Clarksdale, Mississippi. You'll find those crossroads. Yeah, I've been down there myself. I've been to Muscle Shoals, Alabama. It's one thing about playing with all these big people I have. I've been to every state in the union, every major metropolitan area, probably in the West, you know, and once in a while would have times to do these little musicology trips. You know, I went to Chess Records in South Chicago and saw where Chuck Berry recorded. And I went to Abbey Road. And,
man.
But seeing Muscle Shoals and seeing Stax Records in Memphis, but there's something really kind of eerily special about the Mississippi Delta that you will really enjoy.
So I haven't experienced it. I've listened to a number of people, and of course I've watched the documentaries on you know, the Swampers, the Muscle Shoals thing, and they all talk about a feeling that you have when you're there. It's not any, you know, it's kind of like there's a vibe in New York. There's a vibe in LA, and there's a totally different vibe down in the South.
They're right.
in the Delta.
They're right. Now, I've professionally competed with musician communities in L.A., in New York, in Nashville, in Las Vegas, and right there, those four. That's as hard as it gets. If you can make a living in those four markets, you're probably a good musician. And Nashville has a little of this, but you have to head further south and meet some musicians there. And I mean, I could hear it as clear as day when I've played with guys from there, you know, like there's just, they we call it putting a stank on it, you know, like there's just a grease and a funk and a stank on Southern musical heritage that you can't find literally anywhere else in the world.
Right.
And that's you know, our African American heritage.
Yeah.
Really, that's what that is.
Absolutely.
I think,
You know, and you take one of the things as you get older and you start seeing the evolution of music, you have a greater appreciation for the people that were on the cutting edge. You mentioned Chuck Berry.
Mm-hmm.
That riff, that you just played,
Johnny B. Good.
Yeah, Johnny B. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that exist before him? And then look how many songs evolved from what he did.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like Jimi Hendrix would have never come up with anything. Eric Clapton, my hero, the reason why I started, would have never come up with, you know,
Right.
Without Muddy Waters, you know,
Right.
and Muddy and Chuck were on the same label in
Yeah.
Chicago, and Howlin' Wolf was on that label, and Etta James was on that label, and they were all able to see each other work and play on each other's records and be influenced by each other, and none of them were making any money. They were all getting screwed over by the industry in New York,
Yeah.
and they weren't seeing royalties. They weren't making any money when they went out and played gigs. I mean, it was really, really tough to be on the cutting edge. And so far as I have to pick on Robert Johnson since you mentioned him, because he really was the first guitar god in American history, and his story is so full of folklore and voodoo and mystique. But he was literally doing things on the guitar that were 100 years ahead of his time.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's people who can't play what he does today. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Wild.
So let me ask you a question. Everybody we just talked about, any authenticity there?
Well, yes. Yeah, like Eric Clapton just had his 81st birthday. And he's got a bunch of work this year. He's going out on the road doing gigs in the biggest stadiums in the world, you know?
Right.
And you could tell, I think, that he's Eric still, even to this day, because when he's on stage, he just kind of loiters there. He doesn't really care about putting on much of a show, but he sings. You know, he'll wear a t-shirt and jeans on stage because it's his name. Who cares?
Right.
I'm going to do whatever I want. I've earned it. You know what I mean? And I think you can still hear just as much authenticity, if not more, than, you know, at 81, he's probably playing better than he ever has in his life than he did when he was 21.
And
know?
he's still pulling out the acoustic.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
In every one of his gigs, there's a half hour in the middle of the show where he sits down like you and me right now, picks up his favorite Martin, and does an entire unplugged segment.
Nice.
Yeah. And let's see. I mean, there's some new people I like, but you know, so many of the old heroes have left us, and it does really, really pain me when I start to see authenticity drop off.
Yeah.
Because there's a greater need for money.
Yeah. And that's what I appreciate so much about you, is that you're carrying on that tradition of authenticity.
Thank you.
So thank you, Matt. So I got to ask you, favorite rock and roll Christmas adaptations? You know, we've got Bruce Springsteen.
I'm gonna play it right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it. Oh man,
That's my favorite rock and roll Christmas song. Chuck Berry, Run, Run, Rudolph.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. And there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah,
right?
there are.
And I love to put on, even in the middle of the year, outside of the season, I love to just put on a Christmas track that pulls in some of those great artists. And that all the way from, listening to like some Diana Krall.
Fantastic holiday album. Yeah.
And Bruce Springsteen.
This
and
year,
Chuck Berry.
I really wanted to hear a lot of the jazz and swing and kind of classic entertainers. So when I was at home, the thing is about Christmas music, I don't get sick of it. I get sick of certain Skynyrd songs or certain Jimmy Buffett songs or certain Van Morrison songs sometimes, but I don't like. I did a gig here in St. George for their Christmas Village for a few weeks in a row, which is just one of the best events I get to do throughout the year.
Right.
Absolutely wonderful. Played holiday music outside with children all night long. What did I listen to when I got back to the truck house? I put on Sinatra and Elvis's Christmas albums and listened to them for another 4 hours. Because the spirit of the holidays is something we need to bring to everyone year round, and that music is so good it can be played anytime. It's impossible to get sick of it.
Yeah. That's awesome. So everybody that's listening to this podcast, take advantage of the authenticity that's available. And you live in the Southwest here.
Yes.
And do you travel outside of the Southwest area?
Well, we haven't. I haven't really needed to in 180 shows a year just yet. It's been mostly California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and a little bit of Idaho and a little bit of Colorado. But I have aspirations. Like this summer, I'll be playing a festival for truck campers, a rally in Idaho for several days.
Nice.
I'm starting to get some bigger RV show gigs in places like Quartzsite and Palm Springs and whatever else. And so eventually I kept a list all the years on tour with people of all the places that I want to go back to. So I'm just going to start going down the list and kind of hubbing out further and further.
Sweet. Do you announce where you're headed?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So where would people find out where to follow you?
The best place, my home on the web is at Truck House Troubadour. Troubadour, Troubadour, truckhousetroubadour.com. And Truck House Troubadour is my handle on Facebook and Instagram and all of the other social media.
Yeah, and so if somebody just follows you on, for instance, Instagram, you'll put out an announcement and say, hey, check us out. We're going to be in fill in the blank.
Yep.
And come camp with us, right?
Yeah, exactly. Since I'm involved, since I am an RV guy myself and I meet so many people on the road, that's how we've met.
We just met yesterday.
We just met yesterday.
Well,
now
other
we're
than
friends.
the time that you were asleep and I came to your house. But those visits.
I was
are
on the
very
right
short.
list that night, though.
Those visits are so short. I don't get a chance.
He's in and out. Doesn't have much time to talk. Poor guy. Yeah, it's his busy time of year. I don't want to bug him. But yeah, you can keep up with me on social media, especially on Instagram. There's a lot of great playing videos there. I do have a YouTube channel under Truckhouse Troubadour as well that has some great concert footage and some stuff from my past and certain gigs. And but yeah, pretty active on social media, and there's always a updated list of gigs at least 2 months out.
Oh, that's so great. Hey, support Matt.
Thank you.
If you've got a charitable soul, this is where it's at. And independent artists that are authentic, that are real, and that do not disappoint. Reach out to them, and especially if you've got a venue that you know of that could appreciate some authentic, real, and fantastically talented musicians. Matt's it. I mean, you go to one of his shows, and you're going to just say, that was the best. So
what an honor to have Santa Claus at a gig.
I mean, really, how many guitar players get to say that Santa came to see them play?
See, and I was actually incognito last night, but as soon as I walked in, Matt threw a look my way and said something like, "Hey, nice beard."
Yeah.
So he didn't even know I was Santa, but that was part of the thing. I mean, just as we walked in, connection immediately, and we had a great time. So thanks so much, man.
My pleasure, man.
You are the best.
Thank you. Great to be here
So,
with you.
Lifetime nice list, I'll tell you that.
I hope that story inspired you as much as it did me. All right, now, it's challenge time, and you know what to do, right? Well, do it. Share it with the hashtag Santa's About and tag us. Let's create and then spread some goodness. And if you loved this episode, share it with someone who needs the inspiration, because small acts create big ripples, and kindness, it should be a lifestyle, not just a holiday tradition. And if you want more, check out our premium community at santasabout.com. New episodes every Tuesday. Subscribe and leave us a review if you're feeling generous. And remember, some folks, why, they're just one hug away from the nice list. So be good, for goodness sake. And we'll see you next week.